And we're live. Woo! Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary.
And I'm David. And of course, and I'm forcing Gary to host the live this time. Normally I do it.
Yeah.
So that's why he's on that side.
Whenever we do a video together and we record it and put it out, Dave's always the one that's setting up the video. So this is my first time doing it, and it's going to show. there's going to be questions asked and guidance given and mistakes made, and here we are.
You just described our channel. You summarized our channels well. Flip a coin. We might be right on that one.
Yeah, the only thing that we're missing is the closed captioning, because I'm told that in the closed captions it's called Twin Terror with Gary and
yes.
David.
Between our enunciation and voice recognition.
Exactly. So the one thing I did do, I don't know if you do that, Dave, is I made it only to subscribers. You had to be subscribed at least for 5 minutes in order to join the live stream. I figured that'd keep the trolls out.
We've got exactly one troll, and it's Tarot Destroyer.
Oh, well,
he's got six burner accounts.
Oh, we like that guy. He's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, everyone! Yeah, welcome aboard. All right.
I slept. That's what I did for New Year's. Went to bed at 11. I was done.
You know, I actually made it. Krista Weatherby troll here. I actually made it to midnight last night. Hey, 9 o'clock, New York, New Year's. I'm done. Put me to bed. And Laura and I actually made it to midnight, and then we slept in.
Yeah, what time? Sleeping is relative for you. What time did you wake up this morning, or get out of bed this morning?
Well, to see the answer to get out of bed.
Well, get out of bed and stay out of bed.
It was late. This is really late for me. Probably
7:30.
8:30. I mean, that's ridiculously late for me. But I don't usually stay up till midnight either, so it's still 8 hours of sleep. Cheers, folks.
Good Lord. I've got my cold brew coffee here. So the other day, about a month or so ago, I saw that they had Starbucks vanilla flavored cold brew in the refrigerated section.
Okay.
It was on sale, like $6 for a large, like a 32 ounce or 48 ounce container.
Okay.
Like, okay, so I tried it because I do get Starbucks cold brew, so I tried it. It tastes. First off, I noted that even though it's a vanilla flavored cold brew, it tastes like chocolate. And to the point where did I get the right one? Did they put the wrong thing in there? I've had 3 different batches that they all taste the same, but it tastes just like the milk after you finished your bowl of Cocoa Puffs. It's uncanny. And I was with our sisters. I was with Gina. I said, okay, I want you to take a sip of this. And she's like, oh, I could taste the chocolate on that. Yeah. And I go, okay, take another sip. And while you're drinking that, I'm going to tell you something. And so she takes another sip. And I said, that's the milk after you've eaten your bowl of Cocoa Puffs. And she's like, yes. So for those folks out there that love their Cocoa Puffs and can remember what the milk tasted like, Starbucks cold brew vanilla flavor added to it.
Of all things.
That's your jam. I don't even know if it has that much. Caffeine doesn't really impact me. I don't know how much caffeine's in it, but it's like, oh, what a treat. It's like adult chocolate milk.
So, hey, Donald's on. Hey, Donald. Donald's been like chatting away with. He's been entertaining the troops while we were before we went live. So Donald said, so far this year is cold and boring. David and Gary should help change that. Yeah, so it'll just be boring. In summer, it'll be warm and boring.
Yeah, spiritual hacks, corn and chocolate. Now, when we were kids, they were frosted Cocoa Puffs. They had that. Because they weren't quite sweet enough without the white sugary coating glaze on top of it, but they also kept them crunchier too. As somebody's asking you how your Eichhorn bread is going.
The
Einkorn.
einkorn. It's going well. I just
Actually, they shouted it.
What's that?
They shouted it. It's the top of the well, not top of the comments anymore.
No, it's going well. I'm learning to adjust my recipe for it because it takes a lot less water. It's different than sourdough. It's got a very different flavor. I'm now I'm so hopeless. Now I'm looking at grinders, where instead of buying flour, you could buy the wheat berries and grind your own flour. It's a logical progression. I'll be opening a bakery soon. It's a lot of fun playing with the stuff. That is for sure.
Susan Hewitt just hit with a Calvin and Hobbes reference. Chocolate sugar bombs.
Yes, right.
that was great for all the Calvin and Hobbes fans. That was Calvin's favorite cereal. I don't know if they were frosted chocolate sugar bombs, but something like that. It's like, oh, that had to be a tongue-in-cheek reference to Cocoa Puffs. Puffs.
Yeah. I just saw a thing. What's the texture like? It's just like bread. It's got a nice texture. It's not gritty or anything. It's got a slightly more nuttier flavor to it. But I'm still working it. I think my bread's probably a little on the dry side. I probably need to put a little more water into it. But the first loaf I made, I just made it like same ingredients and same proportions that I do my sourdough. And man, that bread was liquidy. It was way too hydrated. And and what happens is the loaf kind of flattens out. You don't get that kind of this shape. You get more of like this shape. Mm. And so I've been trying into reducing the amount of water so that it doesn't flatten out. Yeah, Gary's looking at grinders. Yeah, me and Mike Johnson, right?
Exactly, your buddy.
Oh man. Yeah, so I guess I should. If you have questions, things you want us to read on, the one thing Dave and I were talking about backstage just before we went live is that they released the transcripts of the Jack Smith closed door testimony to Congress.
And there's some video out too of him giving like his opening statement.
Nice.
It's where if it goes anywhere, we'll see. But it was nice to actually hear the guy speak.
Yeah, I know what his voice sounds like.
Yeah.
So if you've got some questions, feel free to put them in all caps. Get all shouty on us. Dave, you can flag these too, right?
No.
Or am I in complete control?
No, you're in control. I don't have the ability to flag anything.
Oh my goodness!
But then Midas Touch has all 8 hours on their channel. Thank you, Kali.
Oh wow! Yeah, I have to get out there and start checking out. And so, Dave, just really quick while I'm looking at this, how did your video do with Trump's frontal lobe?
The one with the 25-minute intro. It did well. It did well. Like 13 or 14,000 views, which is really strong. And again, just for the folks out there, for the folks who didn't see it, I did the end of 2025. It was, I believe, went up on the 30th or the morning of the 31st. It was a rough year in 2025. We've survived Trump coming into office and right out the chute doing the most god-awful things for the first 100 days, as driven by Stephen Miller. And we've been through watching immigration custom enforcement become the American secret police, or the Gestapo, if you will. We've watched the persecution of basically the kidnapping of people off the streets who are brown. Trump said he was going to get rid of the worst, and what he meant was anybody who's not white. We'll start with the brown people, and then attacking LGBTQ rights. I can't even name all the stuff because there's so much horrific stuff going on. Then you get hit with the tariffs, and watching Middle America suffer from those choices. We're blowing up boats in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific with no indication that it's murder. Those are war crimes. We're watching our country actually just deteriorate. Continue to support Russia and their aggression in Ukraine, bombing Iran because, well, Israel's going to do it. We've got to get on it. Knocking over the East Wing of the White House because basically this guy has dementia and they're trying to build the Mar-a-Lago ballroom there to keep him distracted while they do horrific things in the government. A really hard time in the U.S., but at the same time, we made it through the end of the year. We had really successful popular No Kings protests pushing back on this administration. We got the Epstein files released. And even though the government's fighting tooth and nail not to release those documents, even the highly redacted little tranche they've released has given revelations just how horrific this administration is. And there's going to be more to come. Now we get the Jack Smith testimony on the Trump cases. And for the TLDRs out there, too long didn't read, he basically said, we had incredibly strong cases and we were convinced we would get convictions for both the January 6th insurrection and the Mar-a-Lago documents case. Mar-a-Lago documents case was a slam dunk.
Oh, yeah. God.
And, were it not for the corruption of Eileen Cannon, that would have happened. And the Supreme Court giving her guidance on how to do that. So that's like just the drama of this year. But Trump, you're watching him falling apart physically, medically in front of our eyes, and frontal temporal dementia is most likely the cause for that. And I was going through the stages. There's 7 stages, and Trump is exhibiting stuff in stage 6. Stage 7 is basically when you're just non-communicative. Uh-oh, we lost my brother. Stage 6 is when you basically lose all ability to communicate. You're just basically locked in your own body. And he can't be the president when he's like that. Even in stage 6, he's showing signs that he can't do the job, and this is going to lead to his removal. So the messaging was, persevere, we're almost through this part of Trump. And then once Trump is gone, now the oligarchs are going to try and take over, but the oligarchs don't have the cult of personality behind them. The MAGA crowd that supports Trump, they despise the oligarchs. It's funny because somebody commented on, don't they realize Trump is an oligarch? No, they don't, because Trump told them he's not an oligarch. He's one of them, and they believe him because they're in a cult and they suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, so they believe everything he says. But believe me, they have no love for Elon Musk or Peter Thiel or anything along those lines. So when J.D. Vance gets in there, he's not going to be popular. He may have the support of the oligarchs, but he's not going to have the support of 20% of the population that would be MAGA, and certainly won't have the support of the Democrats or the progressives or the, I don't mean the politicians, I mean the voters. Welcome back.
Oh, I was there. I just made you big.
Oh, hi.
Because you were going on, and I wanted to look something up. There was some comments about Swan Lake was playing on Russians' doomsday radio. So I just wanted to pop off really quick to see if there was anything that I could research on it really quick.
Yeah, someone put a comment that Libby saw Swan Lake playing, but I didn't. It was a short comment. I was assuming that she was referring to that it was coming, not that it was currently occurring.
Oh yeah, it's I just found an article from the Mirror, which I don't know, the mirror.co.uk. That sounds like one of the canary cage papers, but it says that it's been playing. The unnerving broadcast also contained an old Soviet song, but with allegedly altered lyrics to celebrate an attack on the Ukrainian capital of Kyiv.
For BK Star and for Trudy, when you say Libby saw that, is that her predicting it, or is that her currently seeing it playing right now as we speak? I'm assuming it's predicting it, but that's the part that was the part I wanted to get to. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Trump's health is going to take him out. I suspect it's going to be before summertime, and likely, much more likely, in the next couple of months. Currently, BK Star. Wow. If it's playing on state radio, then yeah, that means Putin's no more.
Yeah, historically, that means that the Russian government is undergoing a change. But what that article was saying was that they had altered some of the lyrics. There's another song they were playing that altered lyrics that was celebrating an attack on Kyiv. So it could just be someone's trolling the station.
Okay. Yeah. Somebody said it's not playing on state radio. It's playing on the radio, but not state radio. Yeah, it's the state radio that I think it's the state radio that needs to be playing it. But I will happily be wrong on that one, because
that's exactly right.
I only found out about that recently, and I'm sure it was from a Beau of the Fifth Column type of, or Belle of the Fifth Column reading.
Sure, you want to do a couple readings? Speaking
sure.
Okay, so
let's look at Putin's. Let's look at the current state of Putin's control in Russia, since we're talking about Swan Lake.
Yeah, fair enough. Entertainment purposes only.
Yes, be very entertained. Again, Trump's health is awful. I do not expect him to last this year. I don't really expect him to get much out of spring. I say I'm going to say his health-wise, he'll be done before June. Again, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But you cannot deny. I just heard a flat plane 6 fire up in my garage.
Putin has so Chili Pepper has some alternative sources of information. Putin has 89% support of Russia, just posted from a Russian.
I'm sure he doesn't. Saddam Hussein at 100%, 99.8% in Iraq.
It's just one of those things where I understand you have alternative sources of information, and that's fine. And I'm not saying that alternative source is necessarily wrong, but 89%, man, I'll tell you, Ronald Reagan was like super duper popular in the 80s. And I'm sure his support level couldn't have been more than in the 60s.
Yeah, mid 60s is about as good as you get.
Yeah, I would have a real tough time swallowing 89% support 4 years into a war with Ukraine, where you're just grinding up humans. I'm sorry, I just kind of have a tough time with that. All right, so let's see how's Putin doing. How's his January going? Someone had also asked how's Trump's January going to go, so maybe we can do a tag team.
Yeah, how's Putin's control over the Russian government currently going on here? Ooh. You know what? So foundational reading, I get the King of Swords. So there's hard decisions being made, ruling with an iron fist. Underneath it, though, is the Four of Swords, going into retreat. So I think he's right now, I think he's in retreat. What's interesting underneath is you got the Knight of Wands, a plan going forward, actions that are being taken, and I've got the Betrayal and the Death card. I think, looking at this, Putin is pretty much, if he's not in hiding, he's going into hiding. His ability to rule the country is going to have to be on the lam, because there are plots against him, betrayals, that want to end his life. So stop making me big. Keep yourself on the screen.
Okay.
It's unnerving. Because I can't tell, because I don't see you still there anymore because you're not showing up on my present.
I understand your concern because I'm kind of new to this. I've actually got very similar cards. The foundation I had was the Nine of Swords. It's the nightmare is just ongoing. He can't get out of this war. And the thing is he hasn't even gotten to the hard part of it yet. The occupation's the hard part. He hasn't gotten anywhere near that. And to Dave's card, the main clarifier is
you got that too.
Swords. You're in your fourth year of this. It's going to be coming to an end. That basically people aren't going to be buying your crazy stories anymore because the fighting and the chaos continue. And it's the energy underneath it is this is kind of what you signed up for. And it's when are the folks going to say, you know what, we're taking the chains off. We've had enough. He's real. I think he's really counting on Trump to bail his ass out.
Yeah, but for Taurus 1647, the two things. One, Gary's on the left because he hosted. Actually, I think he might be able to drag the videos to have a swap positions if he wanted to. The other thing, there you go.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that the implication of Swan Lake playing is that when the Soviet government has had regime changes, i.e., they kill off the old leader and they're installing the new one, they play Swan Lake on the radio until they're ready to announce the new government coming in. The difference was in the past, Swan Lake was playing on state radio, and in this one, it's not state radio where they're playing it.
Yeah.
And now we can look at what Trump's January is going to look like.
Trump's January going to look like.
Now, also realize on my long rant about Trump and his dementia and Trump's in a lame duck stage. He's an old man yelling at the clouds. But he's an old man yelling at the clouds who's surrounded by enablers, and he can still send the Marines places. He can still make orders to the military. He can still send executive orders. His lasting power isn't there. He can do short-term stuff that's very controversial, but he can't really impact anything on a long-term scale. I don't really know how to put, he's not going to get policies in place or anything along those lines. He can order like the West Wing knockdown or something like that, but it's not going to be like some new amendment getting into Congress or anything like that. He doesn't have the support of Congress.
I've got some very interesting cards for Trump's January. This is the one that's causing me the most confusion. Is starting with the Three of Cups, and my first thought was
gotten that twice now for him, haven't you? For like a reading with Marina, didn't you get that as well?
I did actually. So to me, it's like they're celebrating 3 more years. 3 more years. Woo, woo, woo. But there's a little problem because underneath it is justice. And so you got celebrations, but underneath it is the justice card. So are they celebrating because they're going to start getting Supreme Court victories? And who is celebrating? That's because throughout the election, I had this as the Democrats, women celebrating, right? But maybe it's women celebrating because justice is finally stepping forward. And here come the fun cards. The clarifiers, I got the death card, which means we're coming to an end of the regime. Queen of Wands, because maybe it was women taking action. And underneath it, the Ten of Swords. This is it. That no more harm can be done. This may be referring to the whole Epstein files. That as more information comes out, justice is going to be served, and it's going to bring an end to Trump and the Republicans, covering for pedophiles.
Okay. A couple of things I'm seeing with it. Mine's going to be a little bit layered here. I'm going to bring the screen down for this one because it's a layered reading. So Trump, what's his January looking like? I've got the Hermit card with Judgment underneath, Strength center, and then you've got the Seven of Wands and the King of Pentacles. Politically, what's going on is I think he's looking for a way out. He's struggling to find a way out. He's losing power. This is not the strength. This is the weakness type thing here. There's a fight going on in the background for control of the White House. And it's because of the Epstein files. He's being judged. The oligarchs are here and they're fighting. There's a fight for the oligarchs versus the Trump administration for control over the White House. That's kind of what's going on. What I also am seeing is that Trump is, because of his dementia, he is in retreat. They're trying to treat him with medications and such, but he's in retreat. And the reason why there's a power struggle is that it's recognized that he's in retreat and people aren't responding to him anymore. So the oligarchs are smelling blood in the water and they are now mobilizing against him. They're building up a consensus on who's going to be the new leader coming in and basically announcing it. This may not be, Trump may not be out of office in January, but what you're seeing is the cascade of events that's going to lead to his removal.
Yeah,
there's power struggles going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing.
I released a second reading yesterday about midday.
What?
Basically talking about Trump's lame duck status. He had just vetoed his first two vetoes. They were retaliatory in nature. They were bipartisan bills that had been passed. One was unanimous consent, and the other was I don't know if it was. I think it might have actually had an actual vote, and they both passed in flight. They flew through Congress, and one was Boebert's water. It was a water project she had in southern Colorado that would provide clean water for 50,000 people, and the other was for in Florida, for it was a Indian tribe. They have an issue with flooding, and this would basically give the this Indian tribe the ability have some say on how the with sea level rise and how the land management's been working. They have a say in how things are being done so that they're basically their land isn't flooded because the government isn't taking action. And Trump fought that one because these guys were against the alligator Alcatraz, and he fought the Colorado water because Boebert voted to release the Epstein files. And what the reading was basically saying is, these stand a good chance of being have a congressional override. There was enough.
Oh, absolutely.
There's enough support to have the override. And that's kind of where Congress may tell Trump, you are now a lame duck. And we'll see. It would be consistent with what we're seeing in the January cards for Trump.
Yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, folks are talking about the bruising on Trump's hand. First off, Gary and I were joking about that. You'd have to have Arsenio Hall length fingers in order to do a handshake and reach around and crush the back of somebody's hand. Apparently, Trump is now trying to say, well, I'm taking some aspirin, more than the doctors recommended. That's what's causing the bruising. It's like, no, it doesn't. As somebody in the comments said, I take aspirin. My things don't bruise. Basically, they're doing the IV, and they probably couldn't get the IV into his right hand anymore. Yep. So now they have to go to the left hand.
Yep.
I'm telling you, for all the teeth gnashing and everything, you just exhale. Trump is not going to be around long. Now, that doesn't mean the fight's over.
Yeah.
It just enters a new chapter. And the new chapter is going to be J.D. Vance coming in, picking his VP, who gets approved by Congress. And what you're going to have now is the oligarchs, the tech bros, running the government. But guess what? They've been running the government for the last couple decades.
Yeah.
It's just we didn't know that. And now they've taken the mask off, and they're shameless with it. And so now we see it. Gary Wimmer, who's an intuitive, folks might know him. He had an NDE, really opened up his gifts. He actually does readings through casting runes and stones and stuff like that. Gary Wimmer was the first person I did a reading with, I got a reading from him, not the other way around, who was telling me that Trump is like pulling the canvas off the lifeboat, showing you where all the holes are in the lifeboat so you know what to fix. With these oligarchs, especially with the passing of, I'm forgetting the congressional act that allows businesses to act as individuals. Fuck. Somebody will put it in the comments. That's the part when I get into this, my brain stops getting all those details. Basically, we now know the oligarchs have been in charge for a while. They bought Supreme Court justices, they bought senators, they bought House members. Their money influence
justices.
Yeah, and Citizens United. Thank you. We now know who's running it, but this gives us the opportunity to start pushing back. And when Trump is gone, MAGA, they worship Trump. They don't worship oligarchs, even though they don't get that Trump is an oligarch. They haven't made that connection. Trump derangement syndrome at its finest. But they're going to push against oligarchs. We're going to push against oligarchs. J.D. Vance is going to have the hardest time in the world because he's going to try and advance Peter Thiel and Elon Musk's vision of the world, and we're rejecting that. And this becomes not the Civil War 2.0, but the French Revolution 2.0.
Yeah.
Or the U.S. Revolution, where we're fighting against kings and lords of the land. We're not peasants. And the peasants may be revolting, and the proper answer is because they stink on ice.
That's right.
But we are way more numerous than they are. And that's going to be the new fight, is getting that money out of government so it goes back to where it's our house, not the wealthiest Americans.
Exactly. Hey, let's give some acknowledgments here. Acadian Proud made an annual donation to the beer fund. Thank you, Acadian Proud. We're thinking 805 today.
He gave you the 5 of the 800.
Thank you, Acadian Proud. All right.
You got a bunch of them to go through here.
I do. Let's see, in no particular order. Amy Sanders 70. I'm debt free as of yesterday. Yay!
Way to go, Amy. That's awesome.
That is
what a relief, isn't it?
Oh my God. Yeah. Laura and I paid off the mortgage on our house on our birthday. And I've had a mortgage for the last 34 years of my life. It's just like, oh my God, I actually have a paycheck. The bottom line, I can actually start building my cute little savings account.
I predict a Jaguar Silverstone.
No.
2002 Jaguar Silverstone in your future.
I need to save money because we've been in our house for 20 years, and roofs, exterior painting, stuff like that.
Can I recommend at least bathroom fans for your bathrooms?
Yeah, we could probably do that.
Bathroom fans and a handyman, dude. Just Just do it. They have windows in their bathrooms, and their son Jack can blow them up, and they've never put an exhaust fan in.
Well, the kids are kind of out of the house now, so it's
but for the showers and stuff like that, it gets rid of the steam really good. Well,
hey Crystal, how are you? Thanks, Super Sticker. Hey, you should be doing the Super Sticker dance too now.
That's your thing.
You're not having it, huh?
They're out for cat treats. It's your thing.
That's right. And love Timber. Yay! Thank you, Angela and Timber.
I keep forgetting that I own cats too.
Yes, I might have to share that with you.
Right.
Okay, Happy New Year to both from Lake Palmerston, Canada. Love from Vladimir Putin. Yes, your Russian Blue Kitty. That's right. Worcestershire, and Dr. Finlay, my English Cocker Spaniel. Stay healthy, keep your sense of humor 2076. Thanks, Pam Roberts. Yeah, I remember your cat was Vladimir Putin.
Poutine is just a wonderful treat.
Especially when it's a cat.
Especially when you go to Canada and visit your friends in Canada. Poutine. Tasty.
Hey, yeah, if 2025 didn't stop us, nothing will. There's something to be said about that.
Yeah. It's
2025. They threw everything they could at us, and we came out okay. And as Dave was saying, you look at Trump, he doesn't have a lot of 2026 left in him. It's like he came out in the first 3 rounds of the 15-round match and threw everything he had at you. He's tired. He can't go a full 15. No, so we've taken the worst that they could throw at us, and we are the worst.
That does not mean it was easy or enjoyable. It just means that we're more resilient than that, even if it was hard. And take your breaks. Take your breaks, detach, get your strength, then jump back into it. 2025. Amen, sister.
Yeah, no kidding. Cheers to that, Nancy Bell. Let's see. And then I think this is the last one here. Teresa Spriggs. Hi, Teresa. Enjoy. Thank you.
People are being generous.
I know. It's Happy New Year. Happy New Year to us.
Yeah, for Trump 2028. 6 feet under will be the slogan.
Okay, well, Jack Smith. Okay, so someone was asking in the comments, in the live stream comments, how do you ask a question? Just type it in all caps. That way I can try and flag it and put it up.
Hey, Tori 1647, is that Kiwi Sunshine? God, is that you? Our New Zealand friend.
Okay, let's see. Will Jack Smith prevail? Well, he kind of has, hasn't he? Because they're releasing his testimony.
Yeah.
And that's what he wanted. It's, get that information out there so that people can make their own, come to their own conclusions as to what's going on. The Mirror is the least offensive red top here in the UK. I'm not sure what a red top is, but
I think red top is the.
Is that the banner? The color?
Yeah, exactly. It probably means it's a what's the term for the gossip rags?
Canary cage paper.
God, yeah. I'm in a good channeling mode because facts are now eluding me. Pop culture, tabloid. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's see. So will Jack Smith prevail? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Oh my. So I've got the Four of Swords as the foundation of the reading. It's taken time, and the swords are about intellect. So the information is now out there, and you need to sit there and chew on it. He was bringing information about the stolen election, and how basically everything's been shut down. The whole case and everything has been shut down. Where that should have, like Dave was saying earlier, this was a slam dunk and it should have moved forward. And what they did was they just put a lid on it. But will he prevail? Well, we got the 10 of Cups, which is the happy family. And it just really depends on who is the happy family. Is it the Republicans or is it the Democrats or the voters? And underneath it, it's the Empress, which is what is best for a prosperous America. For me, that's a pretty good set of cards. And will he prevail? I think he already has. And I think this is just a situation where now it's up to the rest of us to push this thing forward and demand accountability and actions for it.
I think he will prevail, but it's going to be a delay. I got the Moon card as my foundation. So secrets starting to be revealed. And the reason why I say they're starting to be revealed is we've got the Fool card underneath there. So Congress, Jim Jordan, and the House Judiciary have tried to keep his testimony secret. They released it the day before New Year so that nobody would be paying attention. But underneath it, it's out. And this starts a new chapter.
Yeah.
Center underneath is the Five of Swords. It's all out there now. There's no denying what's been in there. Jack Smith has been hamstrung because he can't get the message out. And apparently there's a chapter that Judge Cannon has under wraps that he cannot talk about, which I'm sure is something incredibly devastating, but we don't know what that is because he's not allowed to talk about it. But guess who's going to hear about it? MAGA's going to hear about it. This is probably going to be the first time that they've actually heard the truth. This is not the truth's not out, but it's coming out. The truth about his investigation and about what they have on there. Now, there's going to be some that are just going to fight it and say, fake news and stuff like that. But the information's out there to be shared. Really, the question is going to be, will any of the media sources that they normally listen to broadcast any of it? Because they have shown themselves to be remarkably resilient at getting out of their own echo chamber. Will he prevail? I think he will. It's just going to take time because you've got to break down the echo chambers that they're in. Once they're out of the echo chambers and they're back in Universe 1 with the rest of us, then they're going to start understanding just what happened.
Rose blue. GOP needs this sign I saw. Suck less, thank you. I mean, it's humorous, but it's also on point, isn't it?
Oh, that's what it was. Taurus, and one real quick question. Taurus 1647, is this Sunflower Down Under by your alternate names? Because I know Sunflower Down Under had a Taurus name for her account. She changes her account name every once in a while.
I've not seen it for Taurus. I've seen Rebecca and then Sunflower Down Under, but I don't know. We'll
see if Taurus 1647, either yes or no, if that's also known as Sunflower Down Under. Okay. Not that more people don't have the name Taurus in there, but that was...
It might be a little under for our folks out there in Australia and New Zealand.
No, it's just me. Okay, thank you.
Oh, here's a good question. Will Melania and Barron be living outside of the U.S. by the end of 2026?
Switzerland. Let me see that name. Switzerland.
Now, there's a reason why. So thank you, Tamara or Tamara. There's a reason why I grabbed on this one is because when we were doing Taco Tuesday with Marina, someone asked the question, where will Melania and Barron be in 4 years? And I got the 10 of Cups, and it's just like, oh, Christ. That's when it finally hit me that Trump was going to win this election. We were kind of getting some election results as we were doing the Taco Tuesday, and they weren't coming in as positive as I was hoping they would come in. And someone asked the question, where are they going to be in 4 years? and I got that 10 of cups. It's just like, oh, Christ. It hit me that's when it first really dawned on me that Trump was going to win the 2024 election. And there was just no way he could win. You know, you looked at what the rallies looked like, what the cards we were getting, the messaging between the two parties. There's no possible way. And yet he the election was certified in his favor. So I'm very interested. Where will Melania and Barron be living at? Will they be living outside of the U.S. by the end of 2026? I think that's a great question. And Dave's in deep thought.
Yeah, I just was looking to see. According to Google, there's been no evidence that she has purchased or looked to purchase land in Switzerland. I know that Libby said that she had done that. I just was looking in Google to see if I could find any confirmation of it. There is something where she said she compared Switzerland, description of Renee Sylvania as being a beautiful country, almost like Switzerland, with its rolling hills and 8-frame houses. So, again, were it me, where I'm Melania, I want to be on a yacht in the Mediterranean. Thank you very much. And I don't want to live on a yacht. But I'm also not her. There's a great picture of her. It's probably the best picture I've ever seen of Melania was on a boat. Yeah. I think I've showed it to you, Gary. It looks like it's just a genuine smile on that stony face of hers. So, go where your heart takes you, man.
So I got the 6 of Cups. So will Melania and Barron be living outside of the U.S.? Now,
that's a yes for me. That is such a European-looking card, doesn't it?
Well, and that's what I was just about to say. Is now I understand that this deck probably originated. I believe it originated in Europe. So you're probably going to get a little more European architecture in this. But you got the 6 of Cups. It's like, I got to take care of my youngin'. I've got the information. I've got the secrets here. You've got another European-like card. You just, we got to. This is the legacy card. She's going to be protecting the family legacy. And then the reason why you're protecting it, because now you're on the 4 of Swords. To me, this feels like Trump's health is finally going to give. And
enemy was taking a sudden heart attack.
Yeah, exactly. the great beast of Arg, right? So he's going to have a health event, and they're going to stick around just long enough till either Grandpa flees or the money starts raining down on him, and then they're going to be out of town. Is it the end of 2026? I don't know if it's the end of 2026. It'll be after the health event.
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
Go ahead.
No, you're wrapping up your thought there.
Yeah, which will be after the health event, which I've kind of seen him out of power in the first quarter, like March, and Dave's saying spring before summer.
Yeah, I don't see him making it to summer. I really don't.
So I suspect that's going to be a yes.
Okay. What I asked now, same question. Will Melania and Barron be living outside the U.S.? I'm not getting the answer to that. This is always fun when Spirit gives you the different answer. Justice card, 4 of coins. She is not going anywhere that will violate whatever prenup, whatever marriage agreement contract she has. She's not doing anything because she's waiting for the money. And center underneath it is the 10 of Pentacles. There is basically, she is going to make sure that she is around to collect her money and her son's money when Trump is gone. You got the Hierophant and Temperance. So she's going to go through the court systems. She's going to be around. She is going to make sure that she has secured her financial future. And once it's secured, then she is going to figure out what her next steps are. But this will be her not in the United States. I do not expect her to stay in the United States. I'm not saying she doesn't like it here, but she's going to have money and the ability to go anywhere. And I don't think she feels like she's loved, accepted, or anything like that here. She is, I'm going to just put it out there. I don't know it. I'm speculating. She would consider herself to be more like European royalty, and she is going to want to hobnob with other European royalty. And I don't mean like she's going to be with the, hang around with Prince William or something like that, but I'm talking more like she would be like a countess or a duchess, and she's going to be in Europe, in Austria, Switzerland, places like that, where it's just a different vibe than the United States.
So Chili Pepper has got a couple of questions. How bad will the financial crisis be in 2026 for Americans, and how bad will the financial crisis be in 2026 for Europe? Would you like to do the United States and I'll do Europe?
Sure. I mean, here's the problem: is that like the vital data that like the Fed needs and businesses need to adjust is being withheld or manipulated. So we're not getting a true picture. So once that information, you can lie all you want. There was a Mr. Global, is an oil and gas expert. He was sharing a video of a guy walking around like a labor camp for an oil rig where they build new rigs or something like that, and it's empty because the demand's not there. So it's going to be a rough year for roughnecks and folks like that in the oil and gas industry. They don't go home for Christmas. They work year round. And if there's nobody in the camps, it means that there's a lot of weakness in the oil drilling market. And you can fudge all the jobless numbers you want and stuff like that. It doesn't stop the reality of what's really happening. And now, if you're not getting the information, you can't prepare, so that when the actual hit happens, it's going to be worse because you're not prepared for it. What do we have for the U.S.?
Well, my cards feel like U.S. cards, actually.
To me, it's 6 of coins with the 4 swords underneath there. I think there's going to be a recession. This is, to me, the retreating underneath here. And the 6 of coins is, the wealthy will be wealthy, but there's going to be a lot of poor people that come out of that. The government's not, this is like Jerome Powell not being able to do monetary policy correctly. The government underneath here. You got the Lover's card and the Sun card. I think basically the information gets resolved or it gets shown, and now to me this is not only the US, but this is the world having to come together to solve this problem. This whole problem. I don't think it's going to be a depression, but I see like a recession, a pulling back that is going to happen.
And it's so funny because my cards they're different, but the theme is very similar. Mm-hmm. So even though I was asking on Europe, it's almost like I said, it feels like a United States reading.
Yeah, it's like well, think of it as like we got like a global economy at this point.
Yeah. So it starts.
Yeah, nice.
Starts with the Empress. Hey, everything's fine. We got lots of resources for everybody. Everything's robust and looking great. Everyone's going to be taken care of. The problem is it's a bunch of illusions, and the real information is not what you're thinking. This ties exactly to what Dave's talking about with, Trump's not publishing the accurate information we need to truly measure what's going on with the economy and the and employment. It's going to be a tough year. 10 of Wands. Yeah. It's going to be a tough year, and we signed up for it. There have actions been taken that have supported all of this misinformation and the burden that we're going to have to struggle with. And underneath it, we're going to have to find our path out of here. So how bad will it be? I have to agree with Dave. I think there is going to be a financial retreat.
Yeah.
It's of our own doing because we the government of the United States has embraced this low vibrational energy, and it's going to be a tough year. We're gonna have to find our way out.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I'm seeing it.
I've never been real happy with my ability to read on economies and stuff like that. I don't. It's yeah. Just saying that I don't think that plays. It's kind of like reading on hurricanes in the Gulf region. I don't think I'm particularly good at reading that. I don't think I'm particularly good at reading the economy for whatever reason. Maybe my brain gets in the way on that one. Money means something to me.
Linda, thank you, Linda, for your kind contribution. Will Trumpy put a damper on our 250th? Well, I don't see why not. He's already put a damper on the military's 250th with the squeaky tank.
Yeah, I don't. You know, I just don't. I don't think he may not be in office.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. Is that it might not. He might not make it that long.
And maybe he dies on July 4th of this year. I'm not saying he would, but let's say he did. Then, would that put a damper on it? No, I think it would. It would put a damper on it for some subset of the population, but for those of us, it would feel like a second revolution. A second liberty. No, it's. I don't think he's going to put a damper or a diaper on the 250th. I just don't think he's going to be in power at that point.
Let's see. His end is near based on how happy Mel looked at last night's party. Oh my! I didn't see any of the New Year's party stuff.
He's not healthy. Trump is not healthy, and he's not doing anything to take care of his health.
And he needs more exercise. Like if someone would just give him a super sticker, and he would do the Trump dance.
Yeah.
Come on, Melania. Let's do the Cabbage Patch. All right. See what else we got going on in the old live. What other questions have you got? Is there anything that you're seeing there? More squeaky tanks.
Yeah, so as somebody's saying, I think Barron's a psychopath where Trump is a sociopath.
Yeah, it's so funny because I know there's been stories about it, but man, I try really hard not to buy into that, simply because that is such a serious accusation.
Yeah,
you don't want to screw that one up.
Yeah, but you know what? At the same time, somebody wouldn't put that out there against that family unless it were true, because defamation and discovery.
True.
As much as I don't want to believe that he would be somebody who harmed animals or harmed other kids, I believe it. And my true confession's coming out here, and I've mentioned this a couple times now, but for the longest time, I was using the excuse that Barron was a minor and he wasn't a public figure, which are very legitimate reasons not to read on somebody.
Yep.
And because people often ask about Barron. And I think part of it was also, in my heart of hearts, I wanted him to be the redemption for that family, but I didn't want to know the answer because I was dreading the answer I would see. And when you start getting stories of his behavior, I think he's actually probably could very well be a magnitude worse than his father, if you can even imagine something like that. I'm hoping beyond all hopes that kid has some money. He goes away and lives his life in private and doesn't go into the public forum. That's what I really, really, really hope, that he just leads a non-impactful life on the rest of us. I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah.
On that. He's hurt animals in his own security staff. Exactly. And that's, he gets behavior from his father. I don't know if his father ever hurt animals, but he certainly doesn't treat people well. And if you're hurting animals, we know where that path leads you. Now give this kid a bunch of money and power and influence.
Yeah. And he's learning from the best. I mean, how many cryptocurrencies? Yeah, the kid's 19 years old now, 18, 19 years old. And he's probably been raised. You got to think of how he was raised. And he's going to have real strong moral character and a real strong moral compass to sort of overcome the environment which he grew up in.
He grew up with the narcissistic parents. No, the deck is stacked against him, and he may not. So
here's the question: why do some of us see, quote, what is happening, and why do some refuse to see what is? This is more than misinformation. Is it apathy, learned helplessness? Gary the analyst is going to chat about that one. Because both sides feel that they see what is happening and that the other side has no clue on what's happening. And I'm a registered Republican. I've been a registered Republican since 1983. I have not voted for a Republican in over 20 years in any major election. And just looking at it, what I can remember back in the late 80s, early 90s, our dad was so excited when Fox News came up because finally a news station that isn't biased towards the lefty liberals. And what happened was he found a news source that was quote unquote credible, even though it's not a news source, it's an entertainment source, that was telling him what he wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And over the years, it's become more and more of feeding your audience what they want to hear instead of what they need to know. And it's as over the years, we've become more and more polarized, and you're seeing it in the politics where the Overton window is so wide now. And that's why I started voting for the Democrats, is because the right got way too far to the right for me. I would have been okay voting for John McCain, but there was no way I was supporting Sarah Palin and the Tea Party. And I was already kind of like, Bush, W is a little to the right of where I'm comfortable. And then finally, it's just like, I can't do it anymore. I'm going to vote for Obama because the Democrats are now closer to my political leanings than the Republicans.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of, the misinformation is really it. It's biased reporting. So Trump wasn't wrong. There was definitely fake news, which I would call biased news. But it's the news agencies telling their base what they want to hear and provoking outrage to keep them tuned in. And both sides are guilty of it. And that's why I kind of enjoy watching news sources, like reading Reuters or AP, or try and catch something like BBC News, where they just report on it and you come to your own damn conclusion whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Why do some people refuse to see what it is? Because it scares them. So they go to the comforting message. It makes them feel better. There was just a study. There have been studies I've done that show that the hippocampus is kind of your emotionally charged part of your brain, and decisions based on emotions. And it's people with larger hippocampuses, which means that it gets more say over your decisions. People with large hippocampuses, by and large, tend to gravitate towards conservative movements, in this case, the Republican Party. So if you were to, analyze the brains of 100,000 Americans, for instance, and look at the ones with larger hippocampuses, you're going to, and you probably find a huge correlation that the ones with the larger than expected hippocampuses would be on the conservative side, smaller ones would be on the Democratic side of things. And the Republicans, I'm not saying they know this, but their whole messaging is about fear. Fear the trans person, fear the brown person. They're coming to take your women, they're coming to take your jobs, they're coming to take your homes. Only we can stop this. They're scared little beings huddled by the fire, and then it's like, well, a big strong man will come and save you. Yay! And it gives them comfort. Fear the stranger. And when your hippocampus is less than that, critical thinking kicks in. And critical thinking overcomes the fear part of it. But that's kind of what's going on. That's why their fear drives them to seek comfort. They don't trust their critical thinking to get them past that. Gary Sue wants to know why you're still registered as a Republican.
Yes, and I get asked that. I get that a lot.
Yeah, I ask him that too. I've been beating on him for years about that.
Oh yeah, ultimately, like I said, I vote Democrat. I stay registered as a Republican mostly because in the primaries I can vote against the MAGA candidate. At least I've got one vote to try and push the Republican Party back towards the center. They are so far from the center that there's no way I'm ever going to vote for them. But at least I can put one vote down to push them back towards the left. And that's the only reason why I stay registered as a Republican. My ideology is definitely not Republican.
For Bea Brennan, how does having a convicted felon in the highest office ease our anxiety? It's because the messaging is everything that's bad in your world is because of brown people. And so they're willing to overlook the first off, a lot of them are in a cult. MAGA is a cult. It's a cult of personality. Donald Trump is a successful TV star. He's a successful businessman. And he speaks their hatred that they feel. Their fear, if manifested into words, is the messaging that Donald Trump gives them. And he gives them a boogeyman. It's the brown people. It's not your fault that you're struggling. It's their fault. Mm-hmm. And because it gives them comfort to think that, oh my God, it really isn't me. It's them. It's their fault. Go get them. Whether it's brown people or China or Hamas, whatever it is, there will always be a new boogeyman. There has to be one because you have to have an enemy to fear in order to be controlled. And that's what gives them comfort, because then they don't have to actually do any form of introspection to understand that their unhappiness or their happiness comes from within. They think it's exteriorly motivated coming in there. It's how their brains are wired.
Yeah. And so we totally can vote any way we want, except in the primary. A Democrat cannot vote in a Republican primary, and a Republican cannot vote for the Democratic primary. Back when we were in high school, our civics teacher purposely changed parties every election because he wanted to vote for the primary candidates. And so in this case, that's the exact reason why I'm doing it.
And for Sweet Lorraine 88, I'm brown, but I'm born in the USA, so I'm a boogeyman. Yes, absolutely.
Oh God, you better not be bilingual.
Shit. Yeah, you see the TikTok videos. Heaven forbid, so you get some uppity white woman and also the Karens out there, and that's just because the videos I've seen where they look at your skin tone and say, "Were you born here?"
Yeah.
Get out of here. Go back to the country you came from. And it doesn't matter if you're born here. From their point of view, if you're not white, you don't belong here. The irony is delightful because you talk to like Glenda G and the natives. the Native Americans, guess what, white person?
Yeah, exactly.
you're the illegal immigrants coming in here.
And let's just say we heard that phrase uttered in the 70s and 80s in our household growing up. Well, if they don't like it here, they should go back to where they came from. It's like,
or go back to only the landowners should vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Dad hitting that one a couple of times too, and we didn't know that back in the day, back in the Civil War times, it was property owners that got to vote. It's like, yeah, let's just completely lock out women and minorities from voting. Only wealthy white people should be telling everybody what to do. But to Sweet Lorraine's point, when ICE is rounding up people, they're not going after. It's not targeted. It's just it's drag netting. It's taking a net and throwing out. Hey, I literally watched them chase a video of them chasing a woman who had walked to the store and was walking home. And the only reason why they were trying to arrest her was she was brown. And she ran home, and her dad came out. She's like 22, and her dad came out, and the neighbors all came out and chased the folks out of there. There was no reason. They were just stalking them.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not right. That's not what America was built on. And my brother-in-law is half Mexican, and his father is Jess is Mexican, Mexican descent, or might be born in the United States, but he looks Mexican. He's got the look, and I really have a lot of concern that Jess could get rounded up because it doesn't matter that he lived in this country for 70-something years. He was a retired postal worker, and just all around great guy. He looks like one of them.
Yeah, well, he's born in Brownsville, Texas. His mom's part Native American. I mean, yeah, if you've got dark skin, and Lord help you, if you speak a second language and have tattoos, you're definitely under the radar,
Yeah, your brother. Don't you worry about Manny?
Yeah.
Yeah. Manny's his brother-in-law, great guy, but he could easily be, going to Home Depot to pick up some nails or something like that and just get thrown into the back of a van.
Yep.
It's so aggravating. It just tap 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 tap.
Thank you for Wagon Tails. Beer for me. I need to get a refill, and Laura just left, so I'm in the shed. I actually have beer in the mini fridge there, but I don't have a bottle opener. I didn't think ahead to get that. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, thanks. That's not going to help me.
Rookie. I learned in college soon enough that you should always have a bottle opener on your keychain.
But only after you turned 21, folks. He was definitely not.
Yeah, welcome to the dorms, my friend. It took months, though, before I realized, what am I doing? I could need a bottle opener on my thing because, obviously, you think after the first 7 or 8 times that nobody had a bottle opener, you'd figure it out. But
yeah, exactly.
A thick 19-year-old. Eventually, they figure it out 20 years old.
Thank you so much. 8778-I5Y. Now there's a name.
Yeah, one of Mom's troll accounts.
It could be, huh? All right. So do you want to? So we're kind of an hour and 15 into this. You want to just kind of open it up to ask Gary and David questions?
Yeah. Why don't you keep a bottle opener on the fridge? Yeah, Gary.
I probably should. This is actually my son's room. We built an additional unit in the back of the house. It's the shed. We only built one. I know Donald's.
You should have 2 sheds.
But it's a freestanding shed. But it's fully finished. It's got hardwood floors and double pane windows. It's nice, and it's got a little mini fridge that looks like a Marshall amp, and it's full of ginger beer right now, which I'm not a big fan of, I have to admit. But yeah, I probably should put a bottle opener out here. Let's see. Gary is older. Yes, I'm older by 6 minutes. I'm losing my audio. Oh dear.
Your audio is fine on my end.
Okay. I'll just move the microphone a little closer. We are in California. see. What other questions do you have for me and Dave? This is your chance.
Exactly.
And that is the coolest mini fridge I've ever seen. It is really nice. Well, I mean, there is a Modelo, and this might be a twisty.
How tall? Between 5'8" and 5'9". I think at peak height, I was probably like, it depended on the day. You know, it could be 5'8" and 7/8 or 5'9". Generally speaking, they were kind enough to give me a 5'9". And Gary and I are effectively the same height. Now, yeah. I don't know how tall I am now because as you get older, you start to shrink. I don't think I've really started the shrinking phase yet. But, yeah, currently that, 20 years from now, we'll probably be 5'5".
I think I'm not. I think I've already started the shrinkage. How many kids do you have? I've got 3. My wife had a daughter from her first marriage, and then we had 2 children together. And Dave's got 2.
I got 2. I got the full. We both have the full set, yes, as far as our spawn.
Boys and girls.
Is that a Black Panther figurine on your fireplace? My aunt had the same.
It is. It's probably plugged in, so I can't bring it all the way. It's a our grandmother had one of these.
Yes, Nana had one of those. Always amazing.
I could get it this close. It's got a little light on it. And our grandmother had one, and I just loved it growing up. And I found this. Someone was having a garage sale. They normally do estate sales, and they had that. And it's just like, oh, I'm totally getting that. Because when we were growing up, our mother used to say, oh, don't watch TV in the dark. It'll hurt your eyes. Because that's kind of how she was taught back in the 40s, 50s, 60s. Don't watch TV in the dark because it'll hurt your eyes. So that's designed with the light so that you can watch TV and not hurt your eyes.
Things were simpler back then.
What are your occupations? I work in local government. I'm a budget finance manager. And Dave's in
and I work in the pharmaceutical biotech industry, and I'm in quality. How long have we been doing this together? Since May of 2024, was it?
Yeah, May of 2024. So we'll turn 2 years old in May. And I got dragged. I did a couple of guest appearances on Dave's Tarot by the Bay channel.
Yeah. The first one was me calling him and just putting my phone under the microphone.
Yeah, and I shudder to go back and look at our first couple of videos because I literally had no idea what I was doing. I'd watched some videos. I'd watched Dave do readings. He gave me a beginner set of cards that had the definitions on it, and it just practice, and it's all intuition based. I mean, the cards they kind of have definitions, but ultimately it's what is it about the card that strikes you when you're reading, and you just go from there. So when I get the Trump trolls out there say you're just making this up and you're just making the cards say what you want. Yeah, it kind of that there's a certain truth to that, but you're going with what your gut is telling you, and it's really hard to avoid the wish casting.
Yeah, and with the tip, I learned from Dr. Lena Rodriguez, and I try to put my cards back in the deck the proper way, so I don't read reversals, or I typically don't get reversals. But I can read reversals depending on the person. Again, Donald Trump makes it really easy to read reversals because he's so corrupt and self-serving that if some card was like, truth, justice, and the American way, it's the exact opposite. It's lies, injustices, and selfishness type stuff. Let's see. David, how did you get interested in tarot? Your mother always does. I had my first tarot readings done. God, I'm trying to think of when the first ones were done. Actually, I want to say the first ones I had done were by this one woman who did angel decks in Burlingame, probably 15 years ago or so. But I really got into it when Trump got elected the first time, and I was just hitting the spiritual places, trying to figure out, hopefully will he be gone like 6 to 8 weeks? Please tell me yes. And that's where I came across Dr. Lena, Dweller Beneath the Waters, Rosie. And her channels had different names over the years, stuff like that. That's how I got interested in it. And it was right before the pandemic that I took lessons from Dr. Lena, and that's when I started my journey on this.
Yeah, we're not Irish twins.
We're actually identical twins.
Yeah, identical twins, or if you ask Marina, identical twin cousins.
Exactly.
My son and daughter were almost Irish twins. They are 13 and a half months apart. So we pretty much got pregnant almost as soon as it was possible to get pregnant. My wife had a C-section with Jack, our son, and 13 and a half months after he arrived, our daughter arrived.
Yes. Thank you. The car did get delivered. Okay, so I'll give you the reveal. I bought a 2015 Porsche Boxster, and that's why it was like, why did you go to Virginia? When you're getting first off, Porsches, for those that don't know, they are extremely customizable cars. You literally, everything's a la carte with that car. You buy the car, and then if you were like to go to the Porsche configurator to build up what you want, that car has like 1,000 different options you can put on it. And I'm not kidding when I say 1,000 different options. It's literally could come like that. You could probably never build the same car twice. And but also with those cars, they're expensive, and there's what they refer to as the Porsche tax. They're expensive to repair, parts are expensive. So not only do you need to you have to know what you want in the car, but also you're buying the previous car owners. Mm-hmm. You want somebody who, it was funny, I was watching a podcast where these guys were saying mistakes that they made. People get locked in on a color. Porsches, like a new Porsche, they can come in 20, 25 different standard colors. And then if you're willing to spend more money, you can open up the palette to like another 100 colors on top of that. And for $30,000, you could paint it to anything you want. So people get fixated on colors. They may buy a car that's got a bunch of red flags because they want to be the cool guy at Cars and Coffee that got that unique color. What you really need to do is you need to buy the car that has been taken care of and the owner did all the servicing on it and didn't beat on the vehicle. And I found that in Virginia with this one car.
And the thing, in full disclosure, Dave's wife, Michelle, loves sports
Porsches.
And so
we had a Porsche Taycan, and it threw a code for batteries, and we lost the car for 2 months while the battery got pulled out of the vehicle, shipped to Stuttgart to be repaired on the cells that were a problem, shipped back, and then reinstalled in the vehicle. Now, that fixes everything on the car for the moment. A year or two from now, we might go through that whole situation again. Mm-hmm. And it's like, man, I don't know if I want to deal with that again. And plus, I had another between $2,000 for the tires and a $6,000 maintenance thing coming up. In the next year, I was going to drop another $8,000 just on maintenance on that car. And it's an EV that's depreciating like a rock.
Yeah.
It's like, can my heart stomach this? Probably another $8,000 to $10,000 depreciation on top of an $8,000 just wear and tear maintenance bill on it. It's like, no. So I bought, we sold that car and I ended up buying this one. the depreciation on this car has pretty much stopped. They're actually starting to appreciate.
Yeah, it's starting to go up in value.
And this car was like the last year that it came stock with the 6-cylinder engine, which is highly coveted by Porsche enthusiasts. Any
advice on honing your own tarot skills?
Practice, practice, practice.
Yep.
Get a deck. Start. This is what Linda taught me. Dr. Lena taught me. Once she basically, I would go to a site called Biddy Tarot, Biddy Tarot, and they had definitions for all the cards. And you'll be stunned how many they are. And I made flashcards, and I would practice with the flashcards. And then she said, just start reading. Just start throwing cards on things. Reading for friends, reading on situations, and just practice and get used to throwing the cards and interpreting what it is that you're seeing. And then see how you do with that. It's just the best way to go about it.
Yeah, I have the same advice as, for someone who's literally, like I said, 2 years ago, I had no idea what these things meant. It's just you undertake. I watched some videos on YouTube. I've got a beginner deck that has definitions. And then just throwing cards. But you got to go with your gut. Don't be too rigid to the pictures or the definition on the card, because it's interpretation. And that's really kind of where you go from just memorization to flowing the interpretation on it. But that takes lots of practice. Ange 2733, I've given up. According to you and everyone, he was supposed to be gone during his first term.
Yep.
Here we are 8 years later. He's still here. He ain't going nowhere but up in our business. He is definitely up in our business. And I flagged this one just because I get it.
Yep, I get it too.
But you know what? We are at the end of it. It's just we're there. You just have faith. This is we're done. He can't physically do much more.
Yeah, even if you don't even have to have faith. Just look at him. Look at the mental decline he's going through. You look at all the physical symptoms that he is exhibiting. He is not healthy enough to maintain the office that he's holding. That doesn't mean they won't weekend at Bernie's him. Try and keep him in the office as long as they can. That they being like the Stephen Millers and the folks behind the scene that are actually calling the shots. Trump is just kind of a figurehead at this point. But Trump has lost the support of Congress. The House doesn't fear him as much anymore. So he's really entering a lame duck phase. So his political influence is waning. His health is in serious decline. He could still be there 4 years from now or 3 years from now. He absolutely could be. But he's literally going to be a puddle of drool the whole time.
Yeah, that whole weekend at Bernie's type of a thing.
He's ineffective. And at some point, they're going to have to... Basically, the American oligarchs want him out there, and they want to put JD in. I think the original plan, as I heard, which makes sense, is they wanted JD to come in at year 2. Well, so basically, the way the Constitution works is that if JD Vance were to take over after Trump had been in for 2 full years, Vance could finish the final 2 years and then run for president twice. So he could have up to 10 years of it. If Vance were to go in the next couple months, Trump's only been in for a year and change. This would count as Vance's first term, and he could only be reelected at that point. So they wouldn't get that. So I think they were trying to ride the Trump train for 2 years to have their boy JD in there and really cement their legacy and their goals. I don't think they're going to get that.
Yeah, so my deck is called the Vintage Tarot Deck by Dark Forest. I got it on Etsy. They don't sell this exact deck, but there's stuff that's really close, and it's about $20 for it. Just I'll have to see if I've got it saved. So whenever you ask in the comments, I got a link. I've got it saved on my Etsy account, so I just put a link to it. It's not
And
the
a tribute, I got a Porsche Boxster S 2015. It's the Carrera metallic white with the tan interior on it. And it's got the automatic, the PDK transmission. And just as we started, Michelle was backing the car out of the garage. So I got to hear that the flat plane 6 cylinder engine firing up as she backs out there. Really looking forward. I like my road. Gary and I both like small roadsters.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to get. We're 60, and I've had a Fiat 124 Spider, a 2017, and after that I had a 2007 Miata with a retractable hardtop. Love those cars, but it's a little bit snug on the inside. And Michelle and I sat in Boxsters at the Porsche dealership, and they're a bit bigger inside. There's more room inside, and it's a more mature feeling vehicle. And it's like after COVID, I found I wasn't going out anymore. I've been hermiting. I got into that habit, and if I have a roadster, a convertible, there's going to be motivation to get out and drive and go out and enjoy life. And Michelle and I did that so much for the first several years that we were dating and married that I need to get out. And this will give me a tool with which to motivate me to get out and go do things. Otherwise, I'll grow roots out my butt.
Okay, I think hour and a half. We've started the new year off with a bang. Thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of our online family here, Dave and I. We truly appreciate you. Any final thoughts you'd like to share?
No, it's just again, take breaks when you need to. We're going to get through this. I think we've been through the worst. That doesn't mean there won't be more dramatic BS that comes out of this man's mouth, because there will be. That's all he's got left is shock and awe, because he's crazy. The dude's crazy. He's going through dementia. He's shouting at the clouds. He's got people that will put him out there, but his effective power is diminished. And we're going to get through this. Celebrate it when this pebble is shaken out of your shoe, as it were. But then there will be another fight. It just won't be as emotional as this one.
Yeah,
we're on the right side of history. You just need to fight to push back money and influence. That's always been there. But now we see who the enemy is.
It's someone had shared an NDE they had where they said that by 2032 we will look at 2032 as the beginning of the golden age. And so this person, even they were saying that even though we're going through a lot of crap and turmoil right now, she's in a good place emotionally because she knows that by 2032 everything will be fine. And it's kind of like, I don't like to watch sporting events live, like the 49ers. I just don't want to get emotionally wrapped up into it. And then if my team loses, then I'm just like completely deflated for the rest of the day. So they've got this beautiful thing on YouTube where they show the highlights of the game. And the 49ers just played the Bears last week. I was told it was probably the most exciting game of the season. And so I watched the highlights because I knew the Niners had won. And the first play from scrimmage, Brock Purdy throws a pick six.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my God, if I had been watching that live, I probably just would have turned off the TV and said, given up and say, okay, this is over. But it's when you know the end, it's like, okay, yeah, that's not a great way to start. But you don't get overly amped up about it because in the end, everything is going to be fine. And that's where this person is in 2032. They know everything is going to be fine. And what Dave and I are seeing more and more is with cards and as analysts is that we're through the worst of it. When we did a live stream with Libby back in May, I think it was late May, early June, she said that we were halfway done. And why would you want to go back? Just go forward. You're halfway done. You've got 5-6 more months of this crap and you're done. And she really was right, because the special elections, I felt like we finally turned the corner, because every other time it felt like we turned the corner and then something would happen and we would get deflated again. But November is when I felt like we finally turned the corner and they weren't going to be able to push us back around the corner. And today's point, there's going to be setbacks. We're not going to win every single battle from here to the finish line, but you're going to win more and more and more of them. And the ball is going to bounce your way more and more often, and we're going to get there. So you still got to go out there and protest. You still got to get your voice out there and be heard, but know that we are going to win this. Yeah. We are going to be fine.
There's way more of us than there are of them.
Yes.
Them. And them being the wealthy elites that are trying to control everything. They do control, I hate saying this, but they control the media. So you don't hear things because they're trying to control the narrative. But at the same time, the power that we have is that we can make their life really uncomfortable. And their whole lives have been based on their comfort. Mm-hmm. Their wealth buys their comfort. They don't know how to struggle, and they don't know how to fight. They just know how to control. Mm-hmm. So when you start taking away their power, now, one of the things that we can do is what'll probably happen is people are moving away from mass media. They're going to the independent journalists.
Yep.
And Midas Touch or Under the Desk News, Aaron Parnas. And all of a sudden, the money's not there for the Fox Newses of the world. And so they start losing influence. They start losing money. They start losing that control, and they don't know how to fight back against those small media things. The more you turn off your phone to that stuff, and the more local focused you are, the more you defang them.
Yeah.
And that's how we win, because we literally are the grassroots. We are the foundation that builds things up. They're at the top. And if you're at the top, there's only one way to go, tumbling down.
All right, folks. Have a wonderful New Year's Day. Dave and I may do some recordings this week. Just to see what his schedule's like. And we will catch you soon.
All right, everyone. Have a good one. Take care. Love you all. We're gonna make it through it. All right.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye.
You have to hit it twice.